The Bubble Boys are here. Welcome to a college basketball podcast we like to call On the Bubble, whereas a lot of people aren't going to be worried about who's on the bubble till February. We're talking it all the way starting in October. A new college basketball season
Absolutely.
is upon us. We are coming up on 4 days away from tip-off. The Florida Gators will be defending their national championship, and there are a whole lot of teams gunning for them. I'm Scott Sanduli. Anthony Chu, Evan Rodriguez, Brendan Preco, the fourth member of our team, is somewhere trick or treating probably. But while he's off getting candy, we're
Such
talking hoops. Where,
yeah,
where better place to start than with the defending national champions, with the Florida Gators, who are coming back with as good a shot as anybody to defend their title, guys.
absolutely. And what's going to be interesting is that they're going to bring in two really good guards for their backcourt in Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee. So I'm really interested in seeing that because you got a really good front court in Alex Condon, Thomas. I have no idea how to say his last name. I'm going to be honest, but
Haug. Thomas
you got
Haug.
those boys there, and yeah, they got a shot at going back to back, and they got a good chance of winning this whole thing, like everybody else does. We got to worry about like the other top dogs, like Purdue is loaded back with Braden Smith and Trey and Ren and all them, and you got Houston, who's also loaded, has a good freshman class as well. So yeah, it'll be tough.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely, you look at the landscape of the SEC and how just dominant it was at the top, but it also had the depth. More than 10 teams got themselves into the
14
NCAA
teams out of
tournament.
16 teams. That's insane.
And I think there is real potential to make it 15 this year with LSU starting to look on the up and up. Poor South
That'd be
Carolina,
tough
that's
if
on
they
the
could do that
outside looking
again,
in
but
there.
that's a tough task. But we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll start with the SEC. It was the best conference in the country last year. The best team came out of it, and while Florida looks like the top team in the Southeastern Conference to start this season on paper, especially bringing back a potential All-American front court and two great guards in Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee, who do we think is their biggest threat in the SEC to upend them?
It's pretty tough. I think
I'm
Kentucky or
personally
Arkansas are pretty solid.
I'm very high on Arkansas and what they have. There's a lot of talent there, and I've been a Trevon Brazil believer since he was a freshman. He's had a lot of injuries, and the coaching changes hasn't really been himself. But 6'10", athletic freak, he'll block any shot in the gym. I think he's a real
Yeah.
X factor to that team. But John Calipari in the regular season, not entirely, still not entirely sold there. But if I had to pick one team, I mean, you look at Kentucky. I mean, Otega Oweh, in my opinion, might be a first team All American. They
Yeah.
got a great coaching staff, and it's almost with they lose so much depth from last year, but they bring back what they didn't have last year in defense with the transfer from Arizona State, Jaden Quaintance.
Is he starting the year off? I don't think he is, right?
He is not, but once he
Yeah.
is, which I believe I read was December or January, that will be a
Yeah,
serious
he'll be
boost to
a
that team for sure.
great addition to that team. I think hot take, I think he's got actually if he started the year off, I think he had a chance to maybe win National Defensive Player of the Year, but since he's missing some of the season, I don't think he'll really be in that conversation. But he is a really, really good defensive player, so he'll be a great addition to that squad.
And you can't overlook a guy like Denzel Aberdeen either, who was a key role player for that Florida national championship
Yep.
team. Mark Pope, I mean, he built something at BYU, came in his first year at Kentucky, an entirely brand new roster, and they made a three seed out of it in a Sweet 16 run. So that is not a team that I would really want to see with, especially with a guy like Otega Oweh leading the way there for the Wildcats. But you look elsewhere in the SEC, and I think you're looking at really just one of the most wide open races in the entire land, in the
Yeah,
entire country. I
absolutely.
mean, you can't. Auburn had a coaching change, but there's still talent there. Todd Pettiford's back.
Yep.
Keyshawn Hall's a
Dog.
bucket getter from UCF. Tennessee, they're always tough, and they have a great recruit coming in. Nate Ament, Jacoby Gillespie is apparently lighting it up
Yep.
in secret scrimmages as well. I am very curious to see what Tennessee has for us this year, considering the last 2 years, two seeds, Elite Eight appearances, just haven't been able to get over that hump.
I've been able to get over that hump, but today could be different.
I don't know how much I trust Rick Barnes to do it, but I don't know. It's like I feel like it's got to come to a point where they start to change their style and go a little more offense at some point. Just more like running with teams. I mean, they can impose their physicality and slow down a game against anyone, but they have ran into games where even though you have a Dalton Connect or an Igor Milicic, you just have cold shooting nights and there's nothing you can do. Or the team or whoever you're playing, they shoot the lights out of the gym and you're left in the dust. They're too volatile, in my opinion, to be able to get something going. But this is potentially the most talent that Rick Barnes will have on this team since probably Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield in 2019. So this, I
Yeah,
think
that
if
team is
Tennessee's going to
crazy.
make a move for the SEC, I feel like this year's might be their last chance. I'm also very intrigued by Alabama with a lot of the
Yeah.
turnover they've had. A lot of the guys that made that program into what it is, Mark Sears and Grant
A
Nelson,
lot
they're
of
not
people are
there
gone
anymore.
from that squad, though. No
Yep, and you
Sears,
look
no Grant Nelson, no young blood. There's definitely some other people I'm missing. So they kind of rebuilt a bit, but Nate Oates definitely has something up his sleeve. So I think they'll be fine over there still. But
the big question for there is what does Aiden Holloway have for them as well as LeBaron Philon. I mean, two guys that
yeah,
have shown a ton of promise, but where they've been in college basketball. But how much front court presence there, guys?
Yeah.
You look at what else we see in the SEC as well. This conference is so fascinating to me how it's come up in basketball but gone down in football. That's a different discussion for another day. But I mean, you look at a team like Missouri who's got Mark Mitchell still hanging around; they'll be competitive.
oh,
Ole
Mark
Miss with
Mitchell,
Malik
man.
Thea and Chris Beard. You got Texas with Jordan Pope and Tremont Mark. Like there are a lot of teams that will
Talented
seem make a
squads,
lot of
man.
noise.
Definitely the deepest conference.
Certainly up there, but the numbers they get matched with almost in the Big Ten, where they have another national title contender of themselves in Purdue, despite the
Purdue, wow.
Boilermakers going not having the best March history over the last couple of years. They did make a national championship game, but ran into the Husky Express. But so this is a team that still has three starters from that team: Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman Wren, and you
Yeah,
add in transfer like what's the big fella's name? I'm
Clough.
blanking. What's
Oscar
the big fella?
Clough.
Yes,
Clough.
Oscar Clough, South Dakota
Hmm.
State. He was a monster for the Jackrabbits this year.
Hmm.
6'11" guy. And you bring back possibly Daniel Jacobson, who could be healthy again. They've got depth, they've got continuity. It's just a matter of do they put it all together. And for me, it's not like this is not going to be a better team than 24 Zach Edey, but it's the timing of it. Like that year, it was just UConn against the world. They ran over everybody. But we'll get to the Huskies later. But there's no clear standout. This team is better than everybody, at least at this point for me. Whereas when you saw UConn coming back that year, they were bringing back pretty much everyone besides Adama Sanogo, Andre Jackson, and Jordan
Tristan
Hawkins and Joey
Newton.
Calcaterra. But like, despite that, there were five, six major contributors that they still brought back. So you could almost see like, okay, maybe the seeds are planted for them to do some more damage.
Hmm.
Purdue has a very similar makeup. They're bringing
Yeah,
back so much of that team, same coach, same style of play. If
potential
if
national
not
player
now,
of the year
win.
candidate on his
If not
team.
now, win for Purdue.
Yeah, which I want to say, you think it's Final Four or bust for Purdue?
It might be national championship or bust.
Oh,
Like you're at a point where you've made how many tournaments and you've gotten the taste of the Final Four and you've had National Player of the Years. You've had
yeah,
these great teams. You've had first round picks. At what
yeah.
point do you put it
Amazing
into a
talent.
banner?
Yeah, they just got to finish, man. They bring the players in, they get experience, and they run the gym through the regular season, and they just can't finish, man. So we'll see what Matt Painter's got in store. But the thing about the Big Ten is they also have a lot of elite guards in this conference. Like we talked about Braden Smith, Donovan Dent with UCLA, Benite Sturts, who transferred from Duke, not Duke, Drake, sorry, to Iowa. I'm really excited to see this UCLA squad
Hmm.
play. They didn't really have a solid point guard last year. He was kind of
Yeah.
subpar, but now they're bringing in possibly one of the best transfers in the portal in Donovan Dent, who's a really skilled point guard, and I really feel like he can fill that void pretty well, and he can really be a candidate for National Player of the Year this year. I'm really excited to see the squad play with Donovan Dent, Sky Clark, Tyler Bilodeau.
Hmm.
Shout out the
Yes, sir.
509. So I'm excited to see those boys
Yeah.
play. So I'm really high on Donovan Dent and the
You
UCLA
asked
Bruins.
me, and I think if I was a betting man, which I used to be, not anymore, don't get involved, kids. For me, I'd be Donovan Dent's my National Player of the Year pick. You look at what he was doing at New
Yeah, he's
Mexico
crazy. He's
running up
insanely
and down.
talented.
He's like the Flash. He's like a
Yeah.
road runner. You can't catch up with him. I think it's going to play really well for him in the Big Ten and UCLA. People say they have the travel disadvantage. Well, so is the rest of the conference coming their way as well. I think
Yeah.
I would be absolutely surprised if they lost more than 2 or 3 games at Pauley Pavilion. I may not like Mick Cronin as a UConn fan who grew up hating him in Cincinnati in the American and going to Arizona State, battling against him in the Pac-12. But you see a coach like that, and he's had really good guards in the past. You look at Tiger Campbell, you look at what was the sense again?
Juzang.
Troy Copain. Like this dude molds very, very good players out of guards, and we've seen what Tyler Bilodeau is capable of. I think the Bruins are maybe the biggest sleeper in the Big Ten. I know they're getting some love in like 4th or 5th, but I am consistently seeing Purdue and Michigan. I can easily see a world where UCLA is the best team in the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, Michigan. Elliot Cadeau, another guard. It's really good. Transferred over.
But their crown jewel right there, that's Yaxel Lendeborg. That might be the best name in college basketball, and I am so psyched to see that.
He was a force at UMB, absolute force. So
we'll
see what Dusty May can do with him in Ann Arbor.
Yep, I'm very thrilled to see how he works out with Dusty May and how Michigan moves on from the double bigs that they had. Danny Wolf and
Danny Wolf and
Vlad Golden. I don't know how you reinvent your team like that. I mean, Yaxel's 6'9", and you have a Daymara who's 7'3" as well. But there's a little bit of concern, at least for me, depth-wise. I mean, Roddy Gale is a good player. Elliot Cadeau has the potential and didn't really show much of it in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I believe in Namari Burnett outside of scoring, so I feel like this team is going to rely a lot on their starting 5. And for me, I'm a big you need depth. You have to, because injuries
You're not a believer?
Is inevitable. You have to have some backup plans, and I'm not sure if Michigan is going to have that.
Yeah.
What's the ceiling for this team, Scott? You guys think?
I think ceiling. So when it comes to March, right? And when it comes to like assessing a team, you got to look at their guard play. So I really think Elliot Cadeau's really got to command this offense a little bit, really show his potential that he had at UNC and really show it at Ann Arbor. And I really feel like they could go a long way if he's able to kind of break out.
His job early on is going to be to get Yaxel Lendeborg the ball, but he's going to have to step up as a scorer, which UNC did not really ask of him. And whenever they did, he didn't provide it. And I think that's a big reason as to why the Tar Heels disappointed last year. And if it's going to be Michigan's chance, and I don't see this team on paper as a national championship contender, because I think you need more than one like all-American level player to do it. For me, like watching Florida last year, you had not only Walter Clayton but Elijah Martin too, and you had Thomas Haug. Like there were all-American level players on the floor. You look at the back-to-back UConn teams. You look at Kansas with Remy Martin and Dave McCormack and Christian Brown. Like these are just, you have to have multiple big-time options. And I am not sold on anyone outside of Yaxel Lendeborg, who we can't even take, like you can't even put in as a shoe-in because it's his first year in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lot for the Big Ten. I'm very excited to see a couple other teams play. Illinois, they got the international flavor, and in my opinion, maybe the most underrated point guard in the country, and Kylan Boswell, free from the clutches of Tommy Lloyd. We're not Arizona fans around here. We're all Sun Devil.
ASU. Sadly, basketball team might not be the greatest, but we're still rooting for them.
Yeah, we're not the biggest Wildcat fans. We'll try to treat them fairly. Not really, but we'll go. That's a good segue into the Big 12, where, in my opinion, like there has been a lot of talent inflection, and the Big 12 is just. I love the chaos of it. It feels like anything can happen until the Houston Cougars got into it.
Would you say this is a very top heavy conference this year?
There are the teams at the bottom, like the Utahs and Colorados of the world. Like they're not, they don't scare you. But I think Houston's at the top in a tier of their own. I think BYU and Texas Tech have a whole lot of talent. They'll be right there with them. Iowa State brings back a lot. Kansas with Darren Peterson, a bit of a refresh from the teams of the past couple of years. Arizona in the same boat. And you got some you got gritty and experienced teams and coaches with Baylor, Cincinnati, and Kansas State. Right. So I think you're looking at 7 to 8 bids, and it's always anyone can get anybody in the Big 12, in my opinion. It holds
Yeah.
true for football, holds true for baseball. I think it holds true for basketball, unless you're Houston, because Houston's a buzzsaw. But
Yeah.
speaking of the Cougars, they're in the same boat of Purdue for me as
Man.
if not
Cougars are
if not
loaded. You
now,
got
when, right?
Milos Uzans coming back, Emmanuel Sharp's coming back. You got Joseph Tugler, who could be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You have that one freshman, Cedric. What's his last name? And Anthony, you know who I'm talking
Let's
about?
see.
Chris Sinak, I think his
Yeah,
name
Chris
is.
Sinak.
Chris Sinak.
That's who it is. Chris Sinak.
Yeah,
He's a
and a
dog
guy like
too.
Mercy
So
Miller was able to contribute for them late towards the end of the
yeah. So
year.
this
Like
this
for
Houston
them,
team's
it's all
loaded.
about the scoring because under Kelvin Sampson, they're always going to defend their asses off,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's how
They
they're
know
going to
how
be
to
able to
hustle.
put points on the board, and that's what kind of cost them against Florida. They went cold down the stretch, and I think if you see good Milos Uzan, I mean, I freaking love that guy can ball, but when
Yeah,
he's
he
on,
can
he's
create.
on. But
He's great.
you have to have more. It's the same kind of case in Michigan. You have to have more help around him, and I think the big key for them is going to be a veteran like Emmanuel Sharp and a guy like Chris Sinak. What can you guys provide in terms of 2 and 3 scoring behind your big gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, you got any
Looking at the
thoughts on
rest of the Big
Houston?
12, what was that?
I
Like you
want to
guys
see if
said,
you
the
had any
offense
thoughts.
need the offense to be there. Like Scott said, Emmanuel Sharp needs to be huge, and like they're like a well coached team. Kelvin Sampson, he's a great
Yeah,
interview too.
I'm a big fan of them. They can shoot the lights out if they get hot too. So
Mhm.
Emmanuel Sharp is no joke. When he gets hot, he is hot.
Every year we kind of have the hypo meter, like a team that's like they're not perennial power, that they're coming in with a really good roster. So let's gauge maybe the biggest name of them all here in this same conference with the BYU Cougars. What do you
Oh
guys
man,
think that Brigham Young is going to give us on the hardwood this year?
I'm really excited to watch BYU play. Of course, they got AJ DeBonsta, best uh, high school recruit out of high school this year. They got Rod Wright from Baylor, who's a great point guard. They have Richie Saunders coming back, who averaged damn near like 22 points in the tournament, which is absolutely insane. So he's a baller. And I really think, if you guys agree, you think this is probably the most anticipated season in their program history?
I wasn't old enough to remember Jimmer Fredette, but I
Definitely
mean,
up there, I'd say.
it's up there, definitely for sure. I mean, that whole university's kind of just they're coming along with athletics. Money's
They're gonna
coming in
be
with the
so
NIL era.
they're gonna be so hyped. That
BYU
crowd's gonna be
BYU's here,
Yeah.
and I
they're
think the hype
here.
is legit. I've watched a bunch of AJ DeBanza high school reels, and Richie Saunders absolutely can fill it up. Rob Wright, a do-it-all point guard. I got to see him play last year when they were against UConn. This team's going to be scoring like 90 points a night. Like this is,
Yeah,
and
they're
against a team like that, like you
they'll be a
got to
fun
have
team.
good shooting if you're going to keep up with BYU or an elite defense. That's for sure.
Yeah, they'll be a fun team to watch this year.
Is this a legit national championship contender? You guys
It
think?
can be, yeah.
Got to see them play first. Got to see how they defend, but definitely the offense to do it, in my opinion.
Oh
But
yeah,
we
I
saw
think they
last
definitely
year how
do.
like
I think they have the guard experience to do it too.
you can have this great offense, but you have to be able to defend too. That was Kentucky's downfall last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I need to see him play first.
Yeah. Kebakeda.
That's an X factor for me because they need to
Yeah.
have that kind of paint presence.
Uh-huh.
'Cause that's what they got. The guards, they got the wings. It's just if you got to be able to block some shots and grab some rebounds. That's the same problem for me with Alabama, and you could see it ending up with. I mean, rebounding is never a problem for Houston, but Chris Sinak is going to be trusted to do it a lot as their tallest player at 6'10".
Yeah.
But that's the Big 12, and I don't know, a couple of teams.
Another thought on the Big 12. I wanted to we got to talk about ASU a little bit. I wanted to just say, this season, again, probably won't be the greatest, but how big of a hot seat do you think Bobby Early is in at ASU with this squad?
As a UConn fan who covered the Arizona State basketball team, I have a deep respect for the Hurley family. So I don't know how appropriate it is to comment. We'll leave it at that.
No comment?
No
All
comment.
right, we'll leave that segment out. But I want to also talk about Arizona. I know we're ASU
Oh, yeah.
fans, but I want to talk about Arizona. I feel like Arizona is going to be a very fun athletic team to watch, a very defensive team to watch. And they're also bringing back a very experienced player in Jaden Bradley, which I feel like is going to be a very big contributor to the squad. You also got Braden Burries. You also have Cole Pete, who I'm really excited to see play. He's a very, very big defensive presence to that squad. So I really think that team can fly. I really think their defense is going to be great. And even though we're ASU fans, I'm really going to be excited to see Arizona play this year.
I'm very intrigued by their offense because that's been their identity since Tommy Lloyd came in. They run up and down the floor, score points at will, and they had guys that could do it. Benedict Mathurin to Caleb Love, whereas
Yep.
now it's like, okay, Jaden Bradley, but he's a very good player, but he's built to dish out the ball as much as he is to score. That was not Mathurin and Love. Those were your number one guys, give me the ball. And Mathurin got him to wins, Love sometimes got him to wins. But I think it's going to be very important to see who their shot makers are, and they don't have kind of just a dump down option, in my opinion, whereas you have with Mathurin and with Love and with Henry Vasar, who transferred to North Carolina. So I think it is Arizona's offense is going to be very intriguing. The way they defend with Tobe Awaka and with Koa Pete and Braden Burries, like you've got young and experienced guys, a good mix there of guys that are going to get in your face and block your shot.
Yeah.
But so it's just about how the staple of offense runs along with Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I really can't stand their fans, but I think Tommy Lloyd's a great coach, even though in March it really hasn't shown up too much yet, but they have a great program. They find guys too, I feel like, in the transfer portal, like last year Del Orso, and Awaka, so they're a great program and they got some great recruits as well, like Evan touched upon.
I had them, I think it was 5th or 6th in my Big 12 preseason power rankings, and I was only behind Houston, BYU, Iowa State, and Texas Tech, who all either bring back great talent or bring in great talent. Not that Arizona didn't, but I'm also very intrigued by Kansas. This is a very different roster than they've had for the last 2 seasons that have by Kansas standards, been very disappointing.
Yeah.
No more Hunter Dickinson.
Absolutely.
AJ Store's not around anymore. The keys have been given to Darren Peterson, and we'll see what Bill Self still got. I'm intrigued to see what Trey White brings them. You bring back Marco Jackson and Flory Badunga. There is talent here, but it is all going to run through Darren Peterson. And we saw it with Cooper Flagg and Con Kneppel last year. If you got the right freshmen, they can take you a long way.
Absolutely.
Do we think Darren Peterson is on that level?
Definitely can be. Chu, you have any other thoughts on the Big 12?
Those Kansas BYU matchups would be crazy. Darren versus AJ.
Those will be electric.
Yeah.
Box office.
Can't wait
what
for
else?
those.
Box office.
Texas Tech.
Oh, Texas Tech. Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Red Raiders are tough, man. Those
JT
guys are
Toppin.
tough.
He's a
I
dog.
have
JT
so
Toppin.
much respect for that program, even though they throw money at it like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah.
What they got down in Lubbock. No
Absolute
hate.
cinema against Arkansas, man.
Dude, I am so excited for another year of JT Toppin, man.
Yeah,
I
he
can't
is a
believe how
dog. He
excited
is
I am.
crazy. He's your National
Him-
Player of the Year, aren't you? Preseason? Yep.
Yeah.
Good
So be on the
pick.
lookout
Certainly
for him.
An entertaining pick.
Double machine.
Yeah, he's
And
insane.
Christian Anderson coming back in the
Christian
backcourt.
Anderson.
I like the addition of Lawan Watts for them. I'm intrigued to see what Tyree Bryan and either Mario Akuntak or Luke Bangboyi is going to bring them down low because that's kind of a little bit of what they're missing. I mean, Toppin's 6'9", but you need another big down there to help them out. And I don't know. I think losing Darion Williams is going to hurt them in the early on, but Grant McCaslin's a good coach. This is a competitive program. They've been figuring it out for a couple of years now when they haven't necessarily had the best teams. They had the national champions literally on a knee at the Elite Eight last year. Great program. They've got great players. They develop great players. I would not be surprised at all to see them ascend to the top of the Big 12, even with a slow start due to the strength of schedule they got. I think I saw Duke on there early on. So, Red Raiders, I think, they're going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But they're not box office. You know what is box office? The top of the Big East Conference. And this is my time to shine because this is my conference.
Oh,
I
my
grew up
gosh.
in this
Guys, here
region.
we come.
I am a
we
diehard
go.
UConn Huskies fan, and if you hate Dan Hurley, I hate you. And it is UConn against the world. It always will
He's
be.
already got him screaming at his players in the exhibition game.
It's called
Like
coaching.
25.
It's called coaching.
No, yeah, I respect it. He
Yeah,
gets them right.
yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. Looking at the top of the Big East, I mean, UConn, they were the best team coming in last year, the best team coming in the year before. And last year was, you lose four start, like the only major contributor they brought back from two national championship teams was Alex Caravan last year. And as much as I love the guy and he's the captain, the leader of the program, he wasn't suited really to be the number one option. It's just not his skill set. It's not his demeanor. And so that's what UConn was kind of missing. That dude, Liam McNeely, could have been that, but he was struggling with injury all year.
Yeah.
Solo Ball stepped into a nice offensive role, but wasn't consistent every single night. You didn't know what you were going to get from him defensively.
How big
Terry
of
Reid struggled with
expectations do you
injuries.
have of Solo Ball this year going
What's
into
up?
this season? Solo Ball. Big on expectations for him this year? Or?
If he finds that night in, night out consistency, he's a top 5 3-point shooter in the country.
Yeah, he's good.
I will
He's
argue
definitely
with
got it.
anyone on that. And you look at, and if he can facilitate an offense just a little bit better, I mean, know when to pick his spots of when's my shot, when's somebody else's shot, getting down and playing defense. I think Solo Ball can be an All-American. I think Alex Caravan can be too. I think Terrace Reed can be. UConn has the talent to get back to where they were and make it 3
Yeah,
out of
definitely.
4, 100%.
I already know
Because
they got
they're
the
bringing
coaching
back
too.
so many contributors that they didn't have for all last season. Solo Ball missed some time. Alex Caravan missed some time. Terrace Reed missed a lot of games. All those guys are back in the fold now, and you add in a Jalen Stewart, who's been a breakout candidate, and he's been going crazy in the secret scrimmages. And you'll bring in Braylon Mullins, a 5-star recruit once he comes back from injury.
Yeah.
They got all the bullets. They got the right coach. They got the right fans. A little shameless plug there. But their biggest competition might be in their own conference, and it is St. John's, who Rick Pitino, he's bringing in one heck
Lot
of a
of
team.
talent.
It's a very interesting team
Very
because
talented
bring
roster.
back the Rock in Zuby Ejiofor, but where the rest of your offense is going to come from without RJ Luis, that is going to be a very interesting talking point.
You got
for the
who'd they
Giants.
bring in? Josan Sannon. Shout
Joe
out.
Son.
We're gonna miss our boy, but he's gonna do good things there at St. John's. They
Back
also
in the
brought
East
in
Coast.
Ian Jackson, like I tried to
Jackson.
mention earlier, but I
Was
I
Isaiah
asked
Sellers.
where their offense is going to come from, and that's only assuming that what are they going to get out of Bryce Hopkins?
yeah,
I mean,
Bryce
this is a guy
Hopkins
that
is
was,
huge.
could easily be a Big East Player of the Year, could easily be an All-American, but he hasn't been healthy in 2 years. I mean, this guy put Providence on his back for multiple seasons, but it's now, okay, what are you going to get out of the guy when you can't have any expectations on his health? I don't know. Isaiah Sellers is a good player. I don't know if he's necessarily the game changer that I've seen a lot of people think he is. Ian Jackson, I'm still not entirely sold on either. I am a big Dylan Mitchell guy, effort guy, gets down and plays dirty. These are going to be the two toughest teams in the country, along with Houston. And
Absolutely, St.
I'm just
John's is a
saying,
very
like,
talented
I
squad.
don't know what exact dates UConn St. John's are playing, but I'm taking off work. I'm taking off everything. It's like people are going to get bloodied. It is going to be awesome.
yeah,
Looking at
St.
the
John's
rest of the
probably
East,
has a little chip on their shoulder now that they got bounced from the second week last March.
I still
So
don't understand how that happened. I really don't.
yeah, it was.
How do they got out
Calipari,
toughed by an
man.
Arkansas team that had looked soft all year?
Yeah, I know. And Calipari's hasn't been the best in March, but look at him now at Arkansas, and he's been turning it up. So
That's the John Calipari special.
yep.
At least it once was. I don't know if it still is. But moving on from the Big East, where also Creighton and Marquette, those are two teams to watch as well. But the Big East, they're kind of back into the national picture. And one conference that's faded from it is the ACC, but I think they make themselves a name getting back into it. We know Duke's the cream of the crop. Louisville bringing in so much talent, so much returners. But
Other than
I am
that-
very, very intrigued by the NC State Wolfpack with a new coach, Virginia Cavaliers with a new coach, North Carolina with a roster refresh. What do you guys think of the ACC as a whole this year?
I don't know. Definitely, obviously the weakest conference of the bunch. I feel like they could get at least a third of their conference in, at least 6 teams, I would say. But
I look at my ACC power rankings. I think Duke, Louisville, NC State are absolutely for sure. I would say North Carolina, but this team is not as good on paper as the teams they've had in the past few years, and they barely snuck in or not gotten in.
yeah, They've been kind of
Virginia,
iffy.
they're going to be so anti-Virginia with the way they're going to play under
So
Ryan Odom.
we'll see with the
Clemson
ACC,
brings
man.
and SMU. They bring back a couple key pieces from teams that were good last year. And then supposedly Syracuse is going to be back. I'll believe it when I see it as a Syracuse hater. But
Does Jim Boeheim still coach the Syracuse Orange?
Jim Boeheim is off playing golf somewhere, probably with Jim Larinaga.
I forgot if
I
he
would love to
retired.
see that golf match. I don't know about you guys.
But
A
yeah,
lot of practice balls there. But
I'm
I would
excited to
think-
see. I'm excited to see this Duke team. They're putting in Caleb Foster again, which again kind of took a back seat from last year with that absolutely loaded roster that they had. So he's going to take
You
the
speak
guard
on
role
that.
again. And another
You
player
speak-
that I'm kind of interested to see is Isaiah Evans. Isaiah Evans really came and showed out late, but my friend kind of mentioned is that he would I would think, kind of forced shots a little bit. He would kind of shoot a lot. And I feel like now that he's kind of have a starting role, maybe he can kind of ease into playing and creating a little bit more. And I feel like Isaiah Evans could be a big factor to that offense. And you obviously say, oh my God, I can't speak. Obviously, you have Cam Bouger, who is an absolute dog. He had like 2020. I know it's an exhibition match, but still, 2020 is crazy. You have Malik Brown, defensive presence for the
I
Duke.
just
So
don't know how much better they can be their best players are freshmen last year, but they were all first round freshmen.
yeah,
And if you ask me, Cooper Flagg's one of the best college basketball players I've ever seen. Con Kneppel's one of the best offensive college basketball players I've ever seen. Kamal Malawat's just you couldn't go in the paint against the guy.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think that can be replicated. And
yeah, you got a lot of shoes to
and you
fill.
can't win a national championship because they lost in the semifinals.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit step down, but they definitely still have the players with Cam Bouger, and I feel like, yeah, again, Isaiah Evans is going to have to step up big, and then Caleb Foster's got to really support that offense. So,
Malik Brown.
yep.
I think this
Very
is the
great
biggest
defensive
test
player.
of John Shire as a coach this year, seeing how they come off any year you make the Final Four shouldn't be a disappointment, but for that Duke team and with how they measured out on metrics, advanced analytics will tell you they should have ran away with a national championship, and they didn't.
Yeah, what was it they blew? I don't know, but it was a crazy lead that they blew in under 30 seconds. That was insane to watch, but
That was classic Houston basketball.
Yeah.
they got Houston, and it happens.
Yep.
That's what Houston does to people, and they just happen to do it to
you
themselves.
just got Kelvin Sampson.
48 hours later. So I think that looks potentially for me. The conference should be Duke's to lose, but Louisville has so much talent coming in. And you talk about their freshmen, but I am so big on the add of Isaac McNeely from Virginia. This is a dude that lit it up in an offense that did not move over in Charlottesville. He's a big key to what they're going to do, in my opinion. And that's another team on the hypometer for me is Louisville that I am buying into. They just got scorers everywhere, fantastic guards. It's not a team I want any part of.
Yeah. I really like Michael Brown and then Pat Kelsey. He's a really entertaining coach.
Yep, we'll see if he's really got it in him this year. But with that said, I would get into bracketology a little bit, but it's preseason, so in my opinion, it does not matter. It is just throwing stuff at a wall and hope it sticks. So we'll skip with that and go straight off to pick some games for this first week. And we got some real entertaining ones this first week. We got a little mid-major flavor. We got top of the mountain, and that's where we're going to start. Reigning national champions Florida. They meet Arizona to start the season. Who you guys got?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really great matchup. But I think I'm going to go with the Florida Gators. I think they got a little bit too much talent. Again, I'm excited to see Boogie Flan, Xavier Lee really control that offense. So I got the Florida Gators.
From Florida as well. I think that their front court, Thomas Howe, Alex Condon, Ruben Chanlu, has his name?
Chinyalu, I believe.
Chanlu, yeah, that is one of the best front courts in the country. And then, like Evan said, Xavier Lee, Boogie Fland, Todd Golden. So I'm gonna go with Florida. And then, like we said, like Arizona, they got a lot of newcomers, so that would take a little bit of time to gel. And Florida, they brought back a lot of their, like I said, their front court. So I think I'll go with Florida.
Yeah, I'll go Gators too. I think just the minutes continuity plays into it, and obviously the coaching advantage as well. They'll be able to match Arizona's pace and how they run up and down the floor. And I don't know, there's just new pieces in the Arizona system. They got to acclimate. Gators experience, I think that takes them over the edge. Now it'll take us to BYU Villanova. This is an interesting matchup from the Villanova side because
Yeah.
you're bringing in a new coach with Kevin Willard and a whole lot of different players after you've had. They're not Villanova anymore. They're not Jay Wright's Villanova. Kyle Neptune drove them into a ditch, and it is now Kevin Willard's job to take them out. And it's a very well respected program. I'm a big fan of Devin Askew. They brought in Duke Brennan. I
Dude,
think
Brennan.
like
Shout out.
this could be a formidable team, especially in the Big East. But they're going to go up against a lot of talent in BYU early, and I think it overwhelms them. I'll take the Cougars here to start the season. But what's your guys' opinion?
Yeah, I think the same. I think BYU's got a little bit too much talent. I think AJ DeMonts is going to show us why he was the number one recruit coming out of high school, and Cougars are going to make them some noise, and I think they're going to win this game. So give me the BYU Cougars. Chew?
Yeah, I agree with Evan said. AJ on like a national stage. I think this is like in Las Vegas,
Yeah,
the
right?
TNT.
Sounds
Yeah, I
right.
think
Yep.
so. So yeah, all like a lot of eyeballs again on this game. So AJ, like Evan said, on a national stage will show how good of a scorer he is. You can't forget about Malcolm Flags on Villanova.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with BYU, the Cougars.
Cultural legend in our
That's right.
time at Arizona State.
That's right.
Falcon Flags. But we continue on with Evans boys over in Seattle. The Washington Huskies, they meet the Baylor Bears in week one. Danny Sprinkle's first game as the helm of the Dogs. How do they stack up against Scott Drew and company?
You know, the thing about this Baylor squad is they're not bringing back any of their scoring, I'm pretty sure.
Nobody. Brand new
Yeah,
team.
so they're really rebuilding this year. So off of that, and I think UW's really going to be solid this year in the Big Ten. They're also bringing in some pretty tough guys. They're bringing in a Big East transfer, right, Scott? You said?
Desmond Claude could
Yeah.
end up being the best transfer in the country. I say
So
that
yeah,
with all my being. That dude lights it up, and he's physical. He is tough. He's a dog. He could end up being like the Dalton Connect, where it just comes out
yeah,
of nowhere. No one knows it's coming, and just leads his team to national relevance.
yeah. So excited for him. And then they're also bringing this overseas guy that's low key pretty
Oh,
tough. I've seen him play a couple times. So give me UW, no bias aside, but give me UW to uh, beat the inexperienced Baylor Bears, new Baylor Bears.
Two teams haven't played with each other, and so you start to look at a bit of the coaching matchup. And obviously, you're not going to doubt Scott Drew, but
Yeah. And it's crazy.
I,
Danny Sprinkle, fun fact, he was actually born in Pullman, Washington, which is where Washington State is, and he's the UW coach. So that's kind of funny to think of, but just want to throw
Hall
that
of
out
Fame trader right there. And
there.
as much as I enjoy, I love my fellow Scots. I will be betraying Scott Drew here and getting a little fun. We'll go with Washington on my end. I think Desmond Claude put some people on notice with a big performance.
yeah, I'm going to Washington too. Desmond Claude, Wesley Yates,
Oh, yeah.
and then
Wesley Yates
Hannes.
actually
Yeah.
started at UW and then didn't
Oh
really
yeah.
play and then transferred, and now he's back. So he never really had a chance to play. So now he's going to play. So he's really he's going to be a good factor to UW. I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah.
Throwing a little mid-major flavor right here. Utah State and VCU.
Hmm. I haven't really dived into really two of these teams, but I've never really been a big fan of Utah State. They've always really blown me in the tournament, so I'm going with VCU.
Well, considering their coach is now at Washington, and I think VCU, they almost play like a Houston Light kind of defense. They just swarm you from all angles. I think Ahmad Noel, the UConn transfer, a former four-star, I think he's going to be able to run their offense a little bit. So I think the Rams get themselves a little bit on notice with a win there.
I agree. I'm going VCU.
Moving on to Oklahoma, Georgia, and I was looking up and down these rosters earlier, and while Blue Cane is the man, when I saw the name Nigel Pack on
And
Oklahoma, when I was reminded of that, I was very quickly reminded of the numbers that dude was putting at Kansas State and Miami. and I didn't need to look much further. I took the Sooners.
Yeah, I'm kind of in Scott's boat. Boomer Sooner. I know BP doesn't want to hear that one, but we're gonna roll with them. So Boomer Sooner.
Brennan Paul, friend of the program, is Oklahoma State Cowboys with their first mention and probably their last on this podcast.
Yep.
And who you got?
I'm gonna just be different. I'm gonna go with Georgia.
Same
I like
Oh,
you said,
All
Blue
right.
Kane. They added Jeremiah Wilkinson from Cal. And Cannon Catchings, he's there too. So they got some nice guard play. I'm gonna go with Georgia. Be different.
Intriguing game for sure. Non-conference, even though not sure how that works. Moving on, Indiana Marquette.
ooh.
You're pretty high on Indiana, right, Evan?
I am a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm high on Indiana. I'm high on Tucker DeVries. Like
Yes,
people
Tucker
forget how
DeVries.
good this dude was,
He
man.
was he was injured majority of last season, wasn't he? He didn't really
Played
play.
8 games.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I remember right. So I remember he was a dog. He played against Gonzaga, absolutely smoked them. So he's definitely a force.
Showed a lot of
But
promise to West Virginia last year. Now that he's fully healthy, I think new coach, new life into this program. I think they get started on the right foot against Marquette, who does not use the transfer portal. Which I mean, Chase Ross, not good player, but he's no Tyler Kolek, and I think Marquette gets. I'm going to say it. I think Marquette gets pantsed.
wow, really? Think they get
Yep.
pantsed?
Indiana runs all over the floor. Tucker DeVries reminds the nation just how good he is, and maybe puts Indiana on the map. And the downfall of Marquette possibly could
Wow.
begin.
Yeah. Like Chu said, yeah, I am a little bit high on Indiana, and that's kind of the reason why Tucker DeVries, he's a very impactful player. Obviously, he only played 8 games with alongside his dad, who is coaching West Virginia over there. But yeah, I feel like he's gonna have a bounce back year with the Indiana Hoosiers, and I feel like they'll get it done against Marquette.
I'm going to Indiana as well, but I want to ask you, Scott. Do you think Shaka Smart might be on the hot seat if Marquette has like a disappointing year? Because I did see a tweet from shout out Ryan Hammer. He did mention how like Marquette has not really brought in a lot of transfers.
Just haven't
Do
used
you
it.
think?
They don't
Yeah.
really
Do
have the
you?
money to use it. And I think,
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily about the hot seat,
Okay.
because if you're Marquette, you're not going to get a better name, in my
Mhm.
opinion. I think they should be worried about him leaving. Like, that's my thought.
Wow.
But conversation for a different time. Let's see if they lose some games for that to be a possibility.
Huh.
Start to look now at some of the big boy matchups here, and blue blood on blue blood 2022 national championship rematch, Kansas North Carolina.
Oh yeah. Uh, is this at UNC? Where's this game at? Or is it neutral site? Hold on.
If I can
Let's
get
take
my
a look.
if I can get my ESPN app to load here, I should have this memorized by now. It's honestly a little pathetic. At Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill.
Chapel. I think I'm still gonna go with the Jayhawks.
I am too. I
Yeah.
think Hubert Davis, he's not the coach for North Carolina. I've said it for a couple of
Yep.
years now, and
Bill
they've
Self is about to put on a
this is a
masterclass
different
coaching
team,
job.
and he doesn't have players he's comfortable with. And from all I've seen from Darren Peterson, he's an All-American. And I think Kansas, they always start the year out good. It's January and February that it's gone south for them the last couple of years. So I think they get off on the right foot with a resounding win in North Carolina.
I agree going with Kansas. I think lots of question marks for North Carolina for me to pick them.
A lot of question marks in
Yeah.
this next game too, with Arkansas and Michigan State. Which for me, I think it's a total toss-up. You have phenomenal matchups all across the floor with Wagner and Fears, and Brazil and Cooper, and Carr and Knox. And I think that puts the game in Darius Acuff's hands. How do you guys think he could handle it?
Dude, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. But me personally, I think I'm gonna go with shout out our other host, co-host, Brendan Preco, who sadly can't be here, but he's a Michigan State fan, and I'm gonna rep his squad for this game. So give me the Spartans.
I'm going with the Spartans as well. Cullen Carr, that's another breakout candidate. That a lot of people are excited for.
That dude's terrifying to watch come down the
He
lane.
is,
Like
bro. His vertical
smooth.
is insane. It's
Yep, he's
unreal.
terrifying. They played an
Yeah.
exhibition against UConn the other day,
Mhm.
and like anytime he had the ball, I was legitimately scared. Dude's scary.
Mhm.
But I think the game does come into Darius Acuff's hands, five-star freshman guard, just with all the matchups around, and he's got to be the difference maker. And in a game where you are at Michigan State, I think the crowd gets to you a little bit. I think maybe he makes that last second turnover. Remember Cooper Flag against Kansas last year? I think we have a similar moment there, and Michigan State pulls it out. But
Nice.
next one, we have Texas and Duke.
Um, yeah, I think obviously Texas, I think, has a very talented squad as well, but I think Duke, very well coached team with John Sire, Cam Boozer and company. Isaiah Evans is going to show why he's going to be a really, really good two guard, I think, this year. So give me the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Duke too. I think like Texas, Jordan Pope, Jamal Mark. That's a fun backcourt. Um, but I'm gonna go Duke. Cam Boozer, Caleb Foster. I'm gonna go Duke. Isaiah Evans. Yeah, go Duke.
This is sneaky game of the week material for me. I mean, you have the Texas guards, Jordan Pope and Tremont Mark against the
Mhm.
Duke wings and Cam Boozer, Isaiah Evans, Caleb Foster. Contrasting styles and how they're going to play. I'm a big fan of Sean Miller as much as he annoyed me at Xavier. I think this is a very even coaching matchup, very even on the roster, but I think where the difference comes is Patrick Ngangba down in the lane. I think he's able to block some more shots, get some more rebounds, and give Duke some easy buckets down low. So I'll take the Blue Devils, especially at home. Now the probably the highest profile game we'll have in terms of ranking to start this season is Alabama St. John's. Big East tough against SEC strong. Who we got?
Oof. Is this at St. John's? I should have really looked at and see if there were neutral sites, but I'm still going to go with St. John's. You could argue that this is definitely the most talented roster in college basketball, and I think Rick Pitino did a great job with recruiting and having people in the transfer portal come in, and then you have homeboy down low. I can't pronounce his name, but he's going to be a really key contributor, and then everyone else, Jones Sandin and company, Bryce Hopkins, I feel like they're just going to overwhelm Alabama. So give me St. John's.
Said when I was introducing it, Big East tough. Alabama ain't tough. No offense, Nate Oates, but when you're just chucking threes all night and you don't want to get down and rebound, you just want to get out and transition, that is not going to work against St. John's. I think the Red Storm overwhelm Alabama.
I agree. I'm going St. John's. This is in the Garden, Evan.
Oh, MSG, nice.
St. John's.
Go to the game, Scott.
Yeah, you paying for my ticket?
Fuck no.
But those are the games to watch for this week. And before we close and you get yourself set for the start of maybe the best sports season in the world, you have to pick a national champion here, guys.
Already on the spot?
Wow.
Oh, man.
You have to.
If I had to pick right now, I'd have to go with Houston. I'm going to be honest. I think Houston has a lot of potential. I think the players they brought in are going to be really good. The players they're bringing back are going to be very good. I feel like they're kind of the best well-rounded team, I'd say. So if I had to pick now, I'd go with Houston.
I agree. I would go Houston as well. With Purdue, it's just I'm interested to see how their defense holds up, and then Duke with the freshmen, how they respond to big moments. Florida is another one I would consider just because they bring a lot of like their
The
front
thing
court
about
back.
Sorry, Chu, but I just wanted to mention when it comes to March, you got to have
Right.
depth, experience, and good guard play. And I feel like Houston really has almost all of that, I'd say. So that's why I'm really high on Houston.
I'll go Houston too.
Depth, experience, good guard play. Sounds like my UConn Huskies to me. I mean, look at this team and look at the chip on their shoulder now. Everyone hates
Oh
Dan
my
Hurley.
gosh.
Everyone's so excited to see UConn come back down to the mean after last year. Dude, they have reloaded. Alex Caravan is back. Terrace Reed is back. Solo Ball is back. Jalen Stewart is back. These dudes are going to be mad, and they are going to play mad. And they're not going to no Maui tournament where a trip to Hawaii is not getting surfed over. The Huskies are coming back, and they're coming for blood this year. I think UConn makes it 3-4, and the whole college basketball world shuts its mouth on
Coming from a
Dan Hurley,
UConn fan, by the way,
the
guys.
best
UConn
coach
fan.
in college basketball.
UConn fan. But
They were awfully close against Florida in the tournament last year.
They should have beat them. Go back
Yeah,
and
that
watch
was
that
tough.
game. UConn should have won that game.
that was tough.
Walter Clayton saved him. I mean, Walter Clayton's Walter Clayton. But there's not going to be a Walter Clayton this year. There's just going to be the UConn Huskies. The stairway to 7, it's right over there. They're going to take that first step this next Tuesday night when they welcome the New Haven Chargers to Division One. And from there, they're going to storm through their non-con, take another Big East title, and they're going to cut down another net. I don't know where the Final Four is this year. Indianapolis. They're going to cut down the net. They're going to stick it to Purdue again. UConn Huskies national champions.
Wow.
Wow, you heard it here first from UConn fan
right.
from Connecticut, Scott Dooley.
Gotta believe in
right.
your boys. Anyway, that's all from us for this season preview, if you want to call it. We got an awesome season ahead of us, and it kicks off in 100 hours, something like that. We can't wait. We'll be with you here the whole way. We're on the Bubble, a college basketball podcast.